Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again with another video. And despite what you might be seeing in the title or the thumbnail, this video is not, and I want to clarify that first, this video is not an attack against Smack, but it will be a defense against those who are attempting to use Smack's words and weaponize them against me. Because I think this is a situation where there's a massive amount of misinformation floating around, and of course, a massive amount of farming. And there's no real further than you need to look than, of course, the stream of somebody. She's on her 5th consecutive stream. She's currently at about 6 hours into it. And as you can probably tell, you see Smack over here and 2:30:19. It's just been me. Oh, wow. She's going far back. Yeah, it's just been me the whole time, brother. Me the whole time. And so I think the old clips, she's looking at clips, I think, from... This recording is from 2024. This is from December 2024, the recording that she's listening to right now. I think she's exhausted my entire YouTube history. I think she's gone back all the way to my first video, too, is just reviewing all of them on stream. I think she ran out of those vids. And so naturally, right, we need to rotate into the next part of the conversation, and that's going to be, well, what Smack said to me on his stream the other day. And let me just show you, right, we looked at, it was starting at like 2:30. Look how far she reacts to this. Look how long. Look how much she self-inserts herself into this drama. Bringing up her own personal tweets, right, bringing up her own personal whatever, doing all of these things, blah, 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 so that she can self-insert and try to make herself related to this. And of course, weaponize the things Smack is saying against me. And I could obviously react to this entire thing. I don't want to because it's, let me just tell you, it's 2 hours long. She farmed Smack for 2 hours. Actually, it might be 3. This is my response to Smack, so it's still related to him. And you can see over here, she's got a whole, like, notepad out. She's making, like, her 26 points of how I'm like a liar apparently or something like that, when she herself has verified that she's a liar in this video. She uploaded this, right? The thumbnail of the video is literally, take a look at it. Saint is a pathological liar. Let me show you the bitter irony here. In her pinned comment, she admits to lying in the video. She lies about me viewbotting in the video. You wanna know why? Because she looked at this tweet from Ryuku, where this guy, right, proceeds to show my Twitch tracker for a single day. Oh, he deleted the tweet, right? He obviously deleted the tweet. First half of this tweet about the 700 views seems to have been solved. You want to show you what the issue was? These guys looked at, let me show you the chart. This chart, one stream on February 4th, they saw my views go from 0 to 737 in 2 minutes and said I was viewbotting. You can see it reaches a pretty consistent viewer level, though, of about 1,000 something peak. Every single one of my streams this week are a natural incline to levels higher than that. And so they took the one day where it bugs out when it tracks the data. We reach a lower peak, and these guys are saying I'm viewbotting based off of that when every other day looks normal. They took the outlier, the statistical outlier, the one that's not normal, the one that looks like a bug, and said it was the truth, and that all these other ones were fake. They were like, wait, this one's the real one. All these others are the fake ones. That's the level of accusations that are being held against me. That's how information is being used to slander my name. That's the misinformation that's actively being put forth by these CCs, and now she's done it to Smack for 2+ hours. Do you see why the title said Fatherless? I'm not talking about Smack. I'm talking about these guys. Because this is the most fatherless behavior I've ever seen, where you're just all lying. You're all lying. It's proven you're just all lying. She never accused you of that? I have removed the section claiming viewbotting. I have removed the section claiming viewbotting. Get out of my chat, retard. That's why we're going to be talking about it. And like I said before, this isn't going to be an attack on Smack. This is going to be a defense for me. And part of it just involves Smack being weaponized by her. And we've seen how much she's already going to lie. Remember, 26 lies by Saint. I'm a pathological liar. It's ironic that the very first comment just says that she lied. So who's telling the truth here? You decide. Now, we've got another participant in this discussion as well. And trigger warning on this thumbnail. Yeah, that is Skull CJ photoshopping me onto, well, you might know who that actress is. Don't Google her. You're probably gonna get in trouble. And then you have five, well, they're just five black guys behind her and a bunch of other CCs photoshopped onto them. So that's what Skull CJ's latest addition to the space is. And the most ironic thing about this, right, is just seeing this comment. Can we just talk about the irony of seeing this comment from Captain Cabinet after this entire week? Can we just talk about the irony for a second here? And can we also talk about the irony of what CJ has said to her in the past? Remember this video? Saint wife attacked me. Let's listen to this quote.
All right, guys. So as you can see, we have Captain Refrigerator going off on me on her stream. And for about 30 minutes, she decided to have Captain Refrigerator going off on me on.
That's just, I remember what I said. This is the community you've decided. Like, this is the bed you've made your bed. It's time to lay in it. Like, this is what I meant. Like, just good luck. Anyways, that's just a little bit of a fun thing about CJ. But like I mentioned before, GachaSmack's getting farmed. GachaSmack is getting weaponized. And as you're going to see over here, oh, dearie me, whose clips are getting used a lot? Ooh, whose clips are getting used a lot, brother? The other part that I forgot. You see a lot of smack in there? See a lot of smacking in there? Oh, you see a little bit of techless as well. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. He really wants to get everybody involved, right? He really wants to get everybody involved. And so, guys, naturally, do you see why I feel like there's a need to respond now? Do you see the reason why we're going to have to take a look at this and actually make a video out of it? Because good lord, this is getting a little bit crazy, isn't it? Especially after you've seen the lies, the hypocrisy, the proof, and of course, the admission of guilt. That's the important one. The admission of wrongdoing and guilt. Because this isn't the only lie. There's many more. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead. Let's start breaking it all down and provide some of the context for what happened in this situation. So Smack and I, right, had a bit of a situation the other day where I responded, right? I gave my take on a clip of Smack giving his justification for, you know, the whole like child thing, not necessarily like loving their parents, so on and so forth, blah, 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 right? I recorded, or not really recorded, I just talked about it for like 2 minutes. It was clipped. Smack, unfortunately, didn't listen to the whole thing, and Smack does have some bad faith actors in his chat that I'll make sure to call out as well, that I feel like influenced a bit of his decision-making. It is what it is, right? And he was fully justified in the response that he wanted to give. I obviously had some pointers that I wanted to mention as to where his wording and hopefully his intentions weren't necessarily very fair towards me. We've worked it out in DMs, right? We've worked it out in DMs, like I mentioned before. So where we're at right now is a personal statement towards me that Smack decided to levy to kind of like even out the scales, right? Smack in this situation felt wronged by me, by the public statement that I made. No video, right? No video, nothing like that. You don't see me actively farming him, right? It was just a comment. It was just a 2-minute comment that I made on stream. Smack decided to make his own sort of like public commentary about the situation, and that is what is now getting misconstrued. That short statement by Smack is what's getting farmed for 4 hours. So let's go ahead. Let's listen to what that statement actually was.
Stick my nose in his business. And you know what's funny? I'm still not going to go as hard as this nigga because there's a time and place to do that. It depends on how he takes what I just said today. If bro takes it personal, we can take it a step further. It's no joke.
So as you can see, right? As you can see, he was in a bit of a situation, and I fully understand Smack's perspective here. I'm not going to lie. I feel like he's getting attacked a lot. And I think the way that it's kind of like easy to view it is I feel like there are more viewers mad at Smack, but there are more CCs mad at me. That's just my honest, that's just like my personal take on the matter. Again, like I said before, I think we're both in a bit of a contentious situation at the moment. So right, experiencing this betrayal, right, or this attack from me, even though that's obviously not my intent by having myself clipped for a 2-minute speech, that's rough, right?
I'm gonna give an opinion on the 1v9. Hi, GachaSmack. I'm sorry to link you this, but still community called you Gacha Diddy, and the guy who said still not banned. I heard about that.
So this is the thing.
John Seaman, the biggest dick sucker in the industry for Kudo Games, apparently is still in Saints Discord. The same guy that like said some weird ass shit and correlated it to a tribalism thing.
So this is the entire situation. John Seaman is a member of my Discord who happens to be very critical towards other CCs. I think having a member like that in your community isn't the worst thing ever, though some CCs will get very mad about it. An example of a CC that gets very mad about the lightest criticism ever and proceeds to do like an absurd crash out is of course going to be Captain Cabinet. And I think the best way for us to really iron it out, right? And the best way for us to really show the proof regarding this matter is quite simple. There's a post over here by Captain Cabinets, right? Talking about the awful things my community has done. Let's just read this. I just wanted to defend myself from a liar. A person who let his own community want me ripped apart for months. This was Captain Cabinets having a bit of a tussle with a member of my Discord. And this is something that I always say when it comes to a CC going into somebody else's Discord. If you're ever in a situation where you're, I don't know. If you're ever in a situation where you feel like you need to go over to another creator's server to just, well, I'm gonna be honest, right? Go argue with a chatter. I think you've already lost in this situation. I think you've already lost really, really, really badly. And let me just look over here. I think I've got the exact screenshot of it. I want to show the original comment. I want to show the actual take that caused Cap to go on this 6-month-long crash out. Are you ready? Is Caps being slow? That was the comment that she immediately felt the need to reply to, right? Because she wasn't added, right? She was looking up her name on my server, looking for people that were commenting about her, saw this, and was like, I need to address this. This is a serious problem. They are, let me get the quote. This community is trying to rip me apart. This is the incident that sparked 6 months of resentment because I said, I don't think this is ban-worthy. And the craziest part is, guys, this person apologized to her and she's still mad. This person like apologized and explained themselves to her and she's still mad about it. She still DM'd me afterwards and still asked me to ban this person. So guys, that is what she got offended by. And that is why she's saying this whole ripped apart. This narrative, the misinfo is nuts, guys. This is what she's talking about, months. Bro, the person called you slow and then apologized afterwards. What are you doing here? Like, why are you pretending my Discord is like some breeding grounds for like the most toxic behavior ever? These people are saying sorry to you. And you're the one looking up your fucking name like a freak and responding to people as well. So you created this issue. Just don't look up your name. Just close your eyes, walk away. Just turn off the computer and walk away. Actively looking up your name on other people's Discord servers and getting mad at what you see. Just walk away. Anyways, we're on the matter, right? We're on the matter over here. And I'm saying walk away because this is nothing crazy. If this is enough for you to feel aggroed and need to respond, you got a problem. I'm going to be real here. Like, it's because the statement is this. That's why I'm saying just walk away. Who cares? Who cares? So back to the smack clip. I need to provide more of that context, right? The smack clip that we were talking about over here and the smack clip that's causing so many of the issues, right? He's talking about John Seaman. He's talking about the guy on my Discord that apparently said all these awful things. This is the truth of the matter, guys. That is a lie. John Seaman did not actually say the Diddy situation. It's proven to be somebody else. And let me actually go get the screen cap of that one. Yeah, let me go actually get the screen cap of that one. And I'll make sure to replay the part as well. Let's replay this a little bit, and we can hear every single bit of misinfo that's been fed to Smack by Cap's community.
As hard as this nigga, because there's a time and place to do that. It depends on how he takes what I just said today. If bro takes it personal, we can take it a step further.
John was innocent.
It's no joke. I'm gonna give an opinion on the 1v9. Hi, GachaSmack. I'm sorry to link you this, but
so Smack, this is what you need to do. You need to ban the person that linked that. After I show you this.
Still community called you Gotcha Diddy and the guy who said still not banned. I heard about that. John Seaman.
John Seaman did not say that. It was a guy named Ultimate Virgil 6062. You can see it right here, and that person got banned. So they literally took this guy's message, who got banned on my server, misattributed it to John Seaman, and Smack believed it. This is why I don't blame him. Because Smack is a fucking unk, guys. Smack is too fucking old to keep up with this dumb, retarded Discord drama that these CCs have been farming for 6 fucking days. They're just looking at Discord messages for 6 days, 8 hours a day, right? He doesn't keep up with that shit. So obviously, he's looking to his chat to give him the advice, to give him like the take, right, of how stuff is. I can't look at the guy's username, so I assume he's banned. Usually, this shows up for banned users. That's my personal experience with Discord. When somebody's name looks like a fucking like 17 zip codes tied together, and then I can't look at this thing, it looks like a ban, right? That's my take. So, the person's banned. John Seaman didn't say it. So, that's one lie that Smack got misled by already. And of course, how many of those lies do you think Cap planted? And how many of those lies do you think she's farming right now? When she already got caught on one, it was supported by her friends. And guess what, guys? You can see just how much her friends are supporting every lie. They're actively spreading misinfo about me, right? Remember Itoma, her personal lap? He's talking about the view botting too, but he forgot to delete his posts like everybody else. He forgot to delete his posts like everybody else. He didn't get the memo. It's like, wait, we were wrong. Wait, they caught us lying. Delete it, Itoma, quick. They caught us. Shit, we're getting exposed. Delete your... He didn't get the message. He's sleeping in. That's the coordination of this misinfo campaign against me, ladies and gentlemen. And we've already shown you just how much of it was obviously impacting Smack's stream. And this is a big reason for why, guys, this isn't an attack on Smack. Because do you see how much he's getting swayed by the bad actors in this community? And we've only looked at like 30 seconds of this. So yeah, once again, I think Smack is clean here, guys. I don't blame him because he's an unk. He has 2 kids. He has a regular job that he's doing and he does this shit on the side. How is he going to keep up with this? And he's also one of the people that I feel like is most susceptible to those same bad actors.
Biggest dick sucker in the industry for Kudo Games apparently is still in Saint's Discord. The same guy that like said some weird ass shit and correlated it to a tribalism thing.
So this is where the second bit of misinfo comes from. This comes from Smack's mod, Loki Gacha. Loki Gacha is a creator who obviously has a very big personal vendetta against me. And one of the big things that Loki Gacha does is just lie about pretty much everything he makes content on. I think it's a really, really rough situation to be in as a content creator to have this kind of guy modding on your server, but it is what it is, right? I'm pretty sure they have like some sort of like close relationship. I don't want to read too much into it. And yeah, right. You can tell he makes a lot of videos in support of Smack and does it at the same time as, you know, he talks about how amazing Smack is while also talking about how small my assets are, right? How small my personal assets are in the background. So, well, this guy kind of gives you those Skull CJ vibes, right? He kind of does give you those Skull CJ vibes. And one of the big things about this gentleman, right? Let me just look over here. What was this tweet made by John Seaman? About November 19th is about a couple of months ago. That's about 5 months ago, I think. Maybe 4. So, let's look over here. There is actually a video by Loki Gacha that really describes, it unfortunately describes why Smack has this misinformation in his head. Let me just look over here. Loki Gacha made an entire video, right? Saying that John Seaman with this tweet over here is actually like making fun of a cosplayer's expiration. That's what Loki Gacha does. Remember, this is Smack's mod. John Seaman is saying this. Notice how it's always the Hoyo community. John Seaman is talking about how he words this terribly. John Seaman is saying that the Hoyo community is the one that drove her to do this. Because that's literally how it happened. Ash, a young black cosplayer who tragically took her own life after doing relentless racist bullying and online harassment, known for creating Genshin Impact anime cosplays, was targeted, was sustained, abuse, slurs, and hate. So John is commenting on the fact that the Hoyoverse community is the one that's racist towards black people. That was what his tweet was about, and it got misconstrued by Loki Gacha, and that's what Smack thinks. Because again, he's an unk that doesn't keep up with this stuff. And do you see how this series of misinfo, do you see how all of this is cascading down and making so much of this so hard to get through? Because it's just lies on top of lies on top of lies, Tiers of lies, right? The whole time. And Smack's busy with life. And so he just gets words from people he thinks he can trust. I don't think this guy is to be trusted when you've seen how he's going to spread misinfo. Because clearly, when you see this and you know that the Hoyo community is the one that did the bullying and caused this to occur, do you think he's making fun of her, or do you think he's calling out the awful actions of the Hoyoverse community? Which one do you think he's doing? And this is the thing. I'm not defending John here. I'm merely stating what he said. I still think John is a fucking idiot for this tweet. I still think he's an absolute dumbass, right? His message did get misconstrued, but I don't even think this is a necessary tweet to make anyways. But like I said before, that's the type of stuff that's going to happen in this space. And obviously, Loki Gacha over here made the stuff look a lot worse than it did, and now it's bleeding into Smack's response to me. Do we see what's going on here?
Yeah, the John Seaman guy. A retard. We all know this. But this is what I'm saying. You stuck your nose in my business, I'll stick my nose in yours. And
I think this is fair. But this is the issue that comes out of it. His response is fair. His response is warranted. He's allowed to say this on stream. I don't really feel justified having a massive issue with the fact that he's doing this. However, when you know that these guys are just gonna lie like they've been doing all the time, verifiably proven they're gonna lie about stuff and only, well, correct it if they get called out. They've been calling me the misinfo spreader. They've been calling me the liar. They've been saying I'm the one that's making stuff up. But we literally have an instance of 3 CCs actively lying right in front of you and then retracting their statements within hours after being exposed. And so naturally, they're going to do a lot of it with Smack Stream as well. So let's just give this a listen and talk about it.
Same vein. Here's what I will say to you, okay? And I'm only saying this, keep in mind, because yo ass stuck your nose in my business. I'm not gonna pick sides, right? You got a lot of enemies already. Here's what I will say. And I think Asmon would say this exact same thing if he was in any way affiliated with you. You live by the sword, you die by the sword.
And don't worry, Smack, I'm living.
Okay, you're not a victim.
This is where I had, just we had a bit of a conversation, right? And I was just like, hey, obviously, I think you don't have like my knowledge is that Smack doesn't have like a full purview of the personal things that I've experienced at the hands of this 1v9. And basically my words were to him were basically just like, yo, this is probably too far, right? Yeah, this is probably too far, right? I don't think I've done anything that warrants this, right? We understand action reaction, right? We understand, hey, if somebody gets punched, then hey, you can just go ahead and punch him back. This is Skull CJ punching me, not really punching me, shooting me on behalf of other people because I've never done anything to the guy. He's always attacked me first. And so he's used the justification of like other CCs to make thumbnails like this about me. And my take is, Smack, I don't really know if it's like, my personal take is this is the one issue I have with this statement. And hopefully I've explained why.
If you are willing to get into that arena and start swinging that fucking sword and people start swinging back.
It's more like I'm swinging around a wooden sword and then somebody comes out with like a claymore.
You don't say, ref, why are they swinging at me? You don't jump out of the arena and go, hold on, man, this isn't fair. You stand on it. You're not a victim. This is absurdity.
Well, this is the thing. I am standing on it. That's why we're making this video, right? And I already know where we're at. I already know all the glue we've shown. Yeah, we're standing on it and we are winning.
And I kept that in for your sake because I am not the type of person to stick my nose where it doesn't belong. But if I had to give an opinion, which you have put me in it now.
Like I said before, I think Smack is justified in doing this. However, that means that this take that he's justified in making is going to be further weaponized by the people who are clearly taking things a bit too far, right? When your own allies, right, your own brother in harms is telling you, hey, I'm a little uncomfortable with this. Maybe it's going a bit too far. But then again, she's fine with this.
We have Captain Refrigerator going off on me on her stream.
She's fine with that, though. So who knows where the ceiling and the limit is.
If you live in a glass house, you shouldn't throw stones. If you can't take it, don't dish it.
You know what? I'm reflecting on this statement now. I actually think this is a really fair statement. Because I dish it and I can't take it. So it's kind of just like, yeah, it doesn't really like apply to me now that I think about it. Because no, we're doing good right now. We're dishing.
You know all the sayings.
Yeah, we're just winning.
All right. You can't handle the heat, the fuck out of the kitchen.
No, we're still here. I had a way too pessimistic view about this one, to be honest, because he's just kind of he's saying these open-ended statements, but they don't apply to me. So it's like, yeah, I actually don't take very much offense to this anymore.
You're not a victim, my guy. You're not.
And again, the only thing is that that's a bit too much, right? That's just, we can just agree that's too much. That just shouldn't be on YouTube. That's the main thing.
And today is an example of that. That's all I'll say on it.
That was Smack's personal statement to me, right? It wasn't that long. Like I said before, it's not that long. Do you see what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I currently have one of the biggest misinformation campaigns in the history of Gacha being actively levied against me. And the leader of this crusade is none other than this CC over here, who's openly admitted to lying already. Openly admitted to lying already is calling me the biggest liar in the space. Let's go ahead and give you all some additional arguments for how bad these lies have gotten. Are you ready for this one? But unfortunately, like, all the collab content from Kuro is like run by like a clique of like, it's like Sweetly, Brax, like Fob, and then they keep inviting Mr. Pokey and Jenna to like everything, right? Like, that's like it. It's literally Sweetly, Fob, Brax, and then Mr. Pokey and Mr. Pokey and Jenazad at every event, and they all suck. They're trash. It's the worst collab events in the history of a... Kat proceeded to, with this clip, tell everybody that I hated Sweetly. And she actually had her editor make something about that, but they deleted it afterwards. They were trying to make drama between me and Sweetly by splicing and cutting this clip, but then they got caught and deleted it. They got caught and deleted it. It was this editor, Chair, that's been doing that. And guys, she's literally paying her editors to make those clips filled with misinfo about me, instead of making fucking videos for people to watch. Guys, this is what she's doing. This is what she's... Oh, sorry. I forgot. Chud Taunt is trying out to lie challenge. When your editor goes into someone's stream trying to start, they can't go and complain when they get called up on. My editor was not publicly known in the space. He was not. My editor was not publicly known in the space. Cap, due to our personal relationship, knew who my editor was because I actually had him edit one of her videos once. Or something like that. I don't know why we were exchanging editor information, but it was something along those lines. And she used that information to basically, I don't know if it's called doxing, but she basically pulled him up and like exposed him in front of her audience. Tried to bring my editors into drama. Captain Cabinets. She is one of the only people who... Guys, this guy decided, hey, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to farm some clips, bro. Yeah, we're not going to edit any videos. Fuck the YouTube. We're going to farm clips on Twitter on my personal account. Actually knows who one of my editors is, and she intentionally called them out. His identity was not known. So she's trying to loop my editors into drama.
Crazy. Yo, it's Toadus' editor. What's up, man? Was it you who made the fucking Epstein edit? Did he call you a bad boy? Going after me now?
Guys, she sees my editor in chat, decides to pull him up and expose him in front of everybody, and this is what they want to brag about. This is the level that they're going to like brag about what they're doing. It's so weird. It's so strange, and you could just tell these people have very low morals, right? Very, very, very low morals. And is it also surprising that this is the same guy that made that Sweetly clip? The same editor that made that Sweetly clip that got deleted. Do you see why I'm calling these people fatherless? Why I call them fatherless? This is actually, genuinely fatherless behavior. Can't actually address my actual arguments, right? So you gotta splice clips to make me say things that I didn't say and try to ruin my relationships with other CCs in the same at the same vein. And you wanna know what the worst part about all of this is, guys? Cap is paying her editors to do this. Cap is telling her editors, I got a special project for you guys after stream. You guys want to work on this? She asked her little boy Itoma over here, the guy that like cannot think for himself. She's got him over here every single step of the way, licking the footprints that she leaves on the ground. And it's just so absurd that it's still getting farmed, that it's still happening, that I have to deal with lies that are so obviously easily disproven, like those ridiculous Viewbot allegations. But it's just as easy as just straight up lying, spreading misinfo about everything, because you're paying your editors to make memes on the misinfo for you instead of actually uploading content on YouTube. confounding that a CC decides, I'm going to stop making videos. I'm going to take my editor and use them only to make misinfo-fueled memes and just stop YouTube content. Unreal. Such absurdly ridiculous fatherless behavior. But then again, it is pretty fatherless overall to have a guy call you Captain Refrigerator, then you go join them later. Imagine the lack of self-respect involved to sign with a guy who called you this.
As you can see, we have Captain Refrigerator going off on me on her stream.
He called you that. And you want to know what the crazy thing is? I have hated this guy ever since he said that about you. But honestly, I don't really care anymore because I thought you were my friend. And so I hated this guy ever since he said this about you. But now, maybe he's a little based because you seem to be fine with it as well. Oh, wait, but this is all you have left. So yeah, guys, it's just as easy as this. There will be videos coming out in the next few days. An hour and 15 minutes full of lies is a lot for people to get through. And unfortunately, this rat over here is no longer worth any actual spots on my channel. And so I'll leave this to the B team. If I'm Thanos, right? Thanos has a couple of his helpers by his side, right? We all know, like, the guy with, like, the telekinesis and the shit like that, right? Like, the big dude. We'll call in that team. And don't worry, we'll have a lot of videos over the next couple of days that are going to get to the real truth behind this matter. Because like I've shown before, like I've proven before, it's a narrative entirely fueled with lies. And now we got some of the biggest hypocrisy of it all, ladies and gentlemen. We got Miss Captain Cabernet over here with a very, very interesting statement. Let's hear it.
At what point? At what point who is right? One guy or everyone else?
Well, when everyone else is proven to be literally lying, it's probably actually the one guy. Because there's proof you're all lying.
Because, like, I'll be real, I don't want Saint to, like, fucking lose everyone.
Wish I could live in comfort.
I don't want Saint to lose everyone. That's why I've had 5 consecutive 8-hour streams on him. Sorry, wait a second over here. I clicked the Wuthering Waves category. Yeah, she's not playing that fucking game. She's had 8 consecutive streams about me. Sorry, 5 consecutive streams about me. The entire day she's talking about me. That's the only thing that gets talked about. She plays her NTE beta for like half an hour. And then she's saying, after coordinating with her lackeys, right? To actively lie about me, paying her editors to harass my editor, and then also paying her editors to create sweet-illy misinfo clips, she then has the gall to say on day 5, guys, she's already done 40 hours on me. On day 5, on hour 56, she says, I don't want him to lose everybody. Bro, then maybe ask your minions to actually just stop spreading misinfo about me. Maybe stop asking your minions, like Ryuku-sensei, Itoma, Chair, and of course, your favorite one of them all, Skull CJ. Maybe ask them to just stop spreading misinfo about me if this is your true goal. But clearly it's not. You're lying through your teeth once again. And here's more evidence of Cap actively lying through her teeth. This is actually a video clip. This is actually a clip that we didn't add into our last video because it really makes Cap look extremely, extremely bad. But I decided, hey, why don't we just throw it in for some fun? Because, well, we're kind of at that point, aren't we? Remember Cap's words, right? The fake words about not wanting me to lose any of that bullshit, right? Get ready for this. I need to expose the last bit of hypocrisy over here when it comes to Cap. She made this, again, she has a record of virtue signaling, right? We've already proven it over here. She virtue signals about the Epstein files. She's also going to virtue signal over here about my strike that, again, I illegitimately received, and it's proven it's illegitimate. She made this whole thing about how bad it was that I got striked, blah, blah, blah. You're supposed to have your opinions, but, like, you know, doing all this nasty work, right? She's, you know, grandstanding over here. Legions posts a video of my striked video, and her response is, LMAO! 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 Guys, remember, I'm the bad friend. Guys, I'm the bad friend. LMAO! LMAO! Virtue signaling warriors, assemble! The Epstein files are so bad. They're so bad, bro. I cannot believe what is in them. Oh my gosh. Striking a creator to silence them is so bad. LMAO! 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 He got striked. LMAO! Stop it. Striking is so bad. Okay, stop it. LMAO! Can we get the point? Do you see why I'm just having a jolly good time with this now? Because these guys are so completely, absolutely lost in their depth with whatever they're deciding to do over here. Because this is my take, guys. I legitimately think Cap has some kind of mental thing going on. I don't know how somebody is able to switch back and forth between, oh, it's so bad that this happened to him. LMAO! It's so bad that LMAO! Right? It's so hard to do that. And like, then you have the whole, I'm not trying to like end his career and then or like, I just want him to have people. LMAO! I don't know, bro. It doesn't come off as a person in a sound state of mind. And like, when you know that that person is already verified that they're just lying through their fucking teeth in their video about me, and then you see the lies spread by the lapdogs in their community. LMAO! One of the little bits of additional information floating around, right, is that Cap supports CJ. I know that this is a fact because I recently left Cap's creator server. Cap actually had a private creator server where she invited basically everyone in the space. CJ was on that server as well. And so she then weaponized that server, got these CCs who were on it to harass me as well in that server. And one of the rules of that server is keep drama out of it. Go to DMs. But Cap openly allowed every CC on that server who had something against me to publicly make those statements. That's how I've been confirming that Cap is on CJ's side, because CJ was in the server while that harassment was happening. She actively broke her own rules of that server to allow people to, well, publicly say their misgivings against me with every CC in the space watching the conversation. So her editor's harassing me, Itoma's harassing me, CJ's harassing me as well. She's just allowing all of it on her private server for CCs. So yeah, that's why I know for 100% certain she's supporting this behavior. I'll show you all a DM from somebody else that was on that server that they sent to me after I left. I don't think I know I didn't ask for permission, but I hope this is like, I hope it's fine to just show this. Like, I hope it's fine to show this without the name, because it's just... That was the message that I got the day that I left that server. After getting harassed again by Cap allowing CJ, Itoma, her lackeys, blah, 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 to break the server rules and harass me there too. And remember, Cap's the one that says she doesn't want me to lose people. Just, hey, we're going to take that safe space that we said was going to be a safe space and turn it into another hunting ground. So yeah, that's another big bonus for you. And that's how we're going to address this misinfo right here. Do keep in mind that I'm still going to be continually goaded over and over to try to create some drama with Smack, to try to farm him for views. CJ is a creator over here basically saying, ooh, if Saint doesn't make a video on Smack, doesn't grill him, right? This pussy ass boy will just bow down to anybody with more views. Unfortunately, I have more views than Smack. So that's just a false statement over there. It's just a fact, unfortunately. You can look at our stats. I have way more than he does. And second, CJ is also a person that's making thumbnails like this. And of course, right, if you look at the history of vlogs, if you've been familiar with the channel, CJ's the same guy that's also making thumbnails like, well, just take your pick of what you want to get offended by, right? He's an instigator. He's somebody that's trying to cause issues. And he's going to consistently try to cause issues in the space for pretty much as long as he's here. So if you see CCs getting goaded into fighting each other, if you see CCs that are getting misinfo made about them so that they do fight each other, well, now you know where it's coming from. It's great that he decided to show the CCs that he's collaborating with as well, because you know that they're going to do the same shit like this too. The most toxic creators in the space. But they also make sure not to hide their hypocrisy at the same time. Very, very, very impressive stuff. And once again, like I said before, guys, this ain't no attack on Smack. And hopefully the things that we've said, the information we provided, the context over here, has made that evidently so. Because I feel bad for Smack to have been dragged into this situation by some of the most incompetent CCs I have ever seen in the space. And I'm trying to make sure not to do any more damage than what's already been done. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.